In the news recently is the boar's head listeria outbreak. So let's go over that a little bit. There's kind of three topics to this. The first one is the physical or ecological reasons why we get bacterial contamination. The second one is the social and political and economic reasons why these things happen and it makes it to your grocery store. And the third thing is the people who tend to get sick and die when this happens. So this applies equally to humans who eat these foods and our pets. Same thing that happens when there's any food product, pet or human, contaminated or recalled or anything like that. So the first part is the bacterial contamination physically is due to hygiene and sanitation problems. The ecological reasons are always because there's something there the bacteria is looking to eat or digest or some waste product. There's a reason for it. And I go into that in a lot greater detail in my bacteria videos. So for more about the reasons, just go look at one of the old bacteria videos, okay? The second reason is the main thing I want to talk about here, and this is the social and political and economic reasons for the deadly boar's head listeria bacterial contamination. So a few reasons for this we're going to touch on. First, boar's head is a corporation. A corporation is a non-human, non-living thing that's defined solely by profit. That's the whole point in legality and definition of a corporation, is to maximize profit. So they're going to cut corners. It's always going to be that way. The next little thing is the consumer, you and I, we don't seem to care a whole lot, or we're not too worried about it. If we don't care about the safety and health and quality and sourcing and cleanliness of these foods, then why should the company care about it? The problem is, we as the consumer, we just assume or trust that our government is assuring food safety. And there's reasons for that, and we shouldn't be in that position. I saw recently social media posts about Trump and Republicans rolling back safety regulations and that was the reason for this. But that's reductionist. Reductionist is when you see a problem and you take the step that came just before that and blame that for the problem, which is what people are doing by blaming Republican rollback of safety inspectors and regulations or something like that. But that's not where the problem started. The problem started 6 or 7 steps ago. The problem started or came from something way back, not the thing that happened right before this, okay? And it's because the corporations, they don't have honesty and integrity because they're a non-living thing. They don't have any motivation to ensure their products are safe other than legality. They don't have any integral or honesty or human core value reasons to try to ensure that their products don't make people sick. And because it's a human trait to have integrity or honesty. You can't do that if you're non-human. And that stems from the fact that modern industrial society has removed us from our local farms where we physically knew where our food came from and who was growing it. And there were local consequences if something happened. If somebody cut corners and sold you bad meat, you knew where they lived. You knew who they were. They were a person. Even then, it wasn't the fear of getting in trouble or being shamed from having something bad. It was more of a social responsibility. These farmers and food providers, they wanted their family and their community to be healthy and safe. So they wouldn't cut corners. They would make sure what they were feeding their friends and family was real and full of integrity and honesty and not going to make them sick. And the farm was balanced and healthy where it came from, so it wasn't as likely to be sick. I've talked about that in the bacteria video and a lot of other things in a lot of my other videos. Many people in modern society, we're in too deep into the modern technological industrial society that a lot of people don't even know where their food comes from or how to find real, cleanly sourced food that doesn't come from a factory. That surely is a tragedy. And now this is going to change until people start changing it themselves with their own actions, decisions, and the way they spend their money. But so many people don't even know it's a problem. So that's hard to do. So the third little part is I wanted to touch on quickly, who gets sick and why they get sick. And it's usually those who are already sick and weakened with a weakened immune system or a gut microbiome imbalance or a total body microbiome bacterial imbalance. So if you ate some food contaminated with listeria, whether it's from boar's head or somewhere else, your strong stomach acid should weaken or destroy the bad listeria bacteria to where it doesn't cause you a problem. Well, even if that fails, that's one thing that has to fail. Second thing that has to fail is a healthy, balanced gut microbiome is going to have thousands or hundreds of thousands of different species of bacteria and a total collection of billions or trillions of total bacteria in there, and it's all balanced and working together. It doesn't leave any physical space for this Listeria, if it gets in there, it doesn't leave physical space for it to bloom and grow and become a big population. And all those other billions of bacteria are out competing for resources and food and things that they need to grow, so there's not enough left over for the Listeria to really grow. So if you have healthy stomach acid and a healthy gut, even if you eat some Listeria bacteria, contaminated food, you shouldn't get sick. And if you do, if the Listeria does grow in your gut, then your body gets it out as quick as possible. That's vomiting and diarrhea. That's why diarrhea is often blowout diarrhea. The body is physically getting the gut empty as fast as it can because there's something bad like Listeria in there. So worst case scenario, if you get a contamination, you shouldn't get sick. But if you do, you should have bad vomiting and diarrhea. You shouldn't be dying from it. The only reason, or the only main conceptual reason why it would make you die is if it gets into your bloodstream. Well, the things in your gut are not supposed to get into your bloodstream. If it gets in your bloodstream, that means you have leaky gut. That means you have toxicity in your gut. That means that you're really, really unhealthy for a lot of other reasons that we've talked about in other videos. And it's because you're toxic and unhealthy that it gets in your bloodstream and kills you. And since you're already toxic and unhealthy, your immune system's weak anyway, so you get this kind of infection, and that's how people end up dying from it. But that's not the way it should be if we were eating clean, healthy food in the first place. You wouldn't die even if there was a contamination. So modern industrial society is to blame, and the greedy, non-human corporations are to blame. And the rest of us are to blame because we've let the billionaires and globalists and corporations lead us into this situation where we don't know where our food comes from or what happens to our food, and we have to trust somebody else to tell us it's safe. And that's a government entity that's non-human either. They don't have integrity or honesty either because they're non-human entities. So we no longer accept responsibility for our own health and safety because of that. And as tragic as that all is, just like with the automakers bailout and the housing market and the bank bailout 10 or 15 years ago, same thing's going to happen here. The Boar's Head CEO is going to collect his multi-million-dollar bonus while innocent people die, and they don't even know why they're dying or all the steps that led up to why they're sick in the first place. And that's truly a tragedy. If you found the information in this video useful or valuable or beneficial, then click the like button, which will tell the social media algorithms to show this video to more people who may also benefit from it. If you'd like to see more videos about a variety of veterinary health topics on my channels, you can subscribe to my Holistic Perspectives channel on YouTube, or you can follow my Veterinary Medicine 101 channel on Rumble. And if you'd like a consultation about your pet's health and wellness, or current ailments, or chronic disease, or about the care your pet's receiving from your local regular vet, anything about veterinary medicine, whether it's holistic or not, visit my website, drmattparker.com, to learn more about how to schedule a phone consultation. Thanks.